So you want to be a boss, huh? In this video, I'm going to be giving some tips on how to boss up in life, how to get your girl boss on. So if you're interested in these tips and you like these type of videos, definitely make sure you hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Hit your notification bell so that you're notified every time I release a new video. Now let's get into it. I hope y'all enjoy. I already know it's your girl, KingBritneyChanel. Hey, this video is powered by KingBritneyChanel Couture on Teespring. If you like my merch, definitely make sure you check out my merch shelf as well as my Teespring store and check out the link in the description. Let's get into the topic. I hope y'all enjoy. All right, honeys, we are going to be talking about how to boss up in life, whether it be business, in life, just period. We just gonna be talking about it all. I hope everybody that is watching this video is doing fabulous. I hope that y'all are well, with everything that's going on in the world today. I want to bring encouragement and light into the world that we live in. Okay, so I wanted to talk about this topic because I feel like even though there's a lot going on, I feel like we could really still accomplish so many things in 2020. It's a nice little day outside, even though it's rainy. Like, I was just inspired, so I wanted to come on here and talk to you all. So I'm gonna be giving y'all some tips on how to boss up. I mean, a lot of us, are you gonna sit on the sideline on the bench and watch other people boss up, or are you gonna get in the game? So I'm gonna be giving y'all some tips in this video. If you are, new to the channel, definitely make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Join the channel, honey. I upload frequently. So if you like these sort of videos, I will be doing more. So you want to make sure your notification bell is hit so that you know every time I release a video. And I wrote my ideas down in my beautiful notebook because I am ready to talk to y'all about it all. So the first tip that I have to be a boss is to be self-aware. Like, to boss up, you need to be aware of areas of concern that you need to work on, or just stuff like you need to know what it is, what your goals are, short term and long term. Why is it that you want to do that, and even if you want to take baby steps, okay? Because some people, I'm an entrepreneur, but that didn't happen overnight, okay? 9 to 5 was what initially was what I was doing, okay? And as a college student. So what I had to do was figure out, what my mom would call, you need to come up with your action plan, or what's your game plan on da 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 da. Like, y'all know how parents are. You need to come up with a suitable plan on what you're gonna be doing. So you have to figure out, like, plan your goals. Like, get a calendar, you could get a book like this and write down what your short term is stuff that you're gonna be able to check off. Like, even if it's little stuff, you are still going to the next level and you're checking off things on that list. So you have to be self-aware of what it is that are areas of concern, what it is that you want to do. And when I say areas of concern, like, if you a person that you spend way too much time watching TV and that's causing you to not be able to accomplish your goals, or to set goals, or to even reflect on your life, then cut back off the TV. If you a person that you party all the time and it's hard for you to stay focused, then you might have to pull back from certain things. If you're a person where you may not get out much, but you still want to accomplish goals, you might have to set reasonable goals for yourself that so that you're able to network and meet people and to get certain stuff accomplished, for yourself. Whatever it is that your goals are, what it is. Whether it be like, okay, maybe you want to go back to school to get that degree, right, that you have been putting off for the last couple of years. Now it's like you could put in the time and research instead of like being on TV or being on social media stuff, looking at pointless videos and stuff like that that's not edifying you. You could start looking at, if you're gonna be on social media, looking at things that's gonna edify you, and it'd be like, okay, I could go back to school, you know, part-time, or I could be online in college, you know, getting what I want to, you know, get completed. Like, it's nothing wrong with you trying to better yourself certain ways and being aware of areas that you need to work on, because that's you keeping it real with yourself, you know, you keeping it real and you knowing that, okay, it's the same way, like if you have like parents or maybe you have a mentor where they'll tell you areas that you need to work on. It's just you doing that for yourself, saying like, okay, my area is, I feel like I have drive, but I feel like I want to do more. Like I always challenge myself to do more. So that's like my area of concern that I'm working on right now. I always want to do more and be focused on doing and accomplishing more. Okay. You also want to make sure that you're self-aware so that you can self-correct areas that you going to the left. Okay, it's nothing worse than a person that they just refuse to see that they are the ones that's holding them back from success. Okay, so don't be like one of those people. You also want to make sure, this is my next tip, that you be a leader and not a follower. This is like, being a leader is the #1 way to be a boss. Okay, even though this is one of my girl boss type of chats, girl boss talks, this could apply to, you know, fellas, if you out there and you want to use some of these tips, this can apply also. You always want to make sure that you are a leader, because if you're going the same direction that everybody else has gone, who's paying attention to that? Is that interesting? I mean, you're just one of many people that's doing the same thing. And a lot of innovators and people that are entrepreneurs, or people that just accomplish a lot in life and they're successful, typically they go against the grain. When everybody is chitter-chatting and talking about, oh, they can't do it, or why are they doing this, or oh, that's crazy that they're doing that, they have gone against the grain, being innovative and creative. Like, if you are a boss, typically you don't follow the trends, you set the trends. You're not trying to be like anybody else. You're trying to carve out a lane for yourself, if that makes any sense. It's like, if it's 100 people doing this, create a new avenue over here for yourself doing something else. You feel what I'm saying? To where you create your own lane for yourself. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with you being a leader, setting trends, you know, being self-aware so that you are accomplishing more and, you know, becoming a better person in the process. 2, I mean, not even 2, we on 3. You should start setting routines for yourself so that you can accomplish stuff. Like, organization, I feel, is the key to bossing up in life. Okay, it is definitely the key to bossing up in life, because when you have a routine, you are okay. You, maybe it's like, you like Sunday at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna start maybe devoting like an hour to researching stuff for my business. Even if, like, let's say you do work a 9 to 5, it's nothing wrong. Like, if you want to get your little side hustle on, or you want to get have passive income, and I'm gonna get into that, because the most successful people that boss up have several forms of passive income. And passive income, for those of you who do not know, is money that you are making, or income that is being made while you are asleep. It's like the initial point of it, you may start it up and you may do something to start it up. Like, let's say a person on YouTube, they might make a video to where they put the initial work into that video, let's say about something or whatever. They do whatever video that they do. So over time, that video is going to make that person money, depending on what they chose to do the video on while they're asleep. They're not sitting there every day having to do something. It's just like, now that is making them money. Or like, you know, people have different businesses. Like, some people do photography, and their photography, they license it, or they, you know, whatever it is that they do, people using their pictures, they start making money from those pictures over time. Okay, they're not having to recreate that same picture over and over again. They're able to use that picture. Like, okay, prime example, this picture in my office here. This picture has been mass produced, but the initial start of it, a graphic designer made this picture, and now they're mass producing it, and they're able to sell it over and over and over. And the initial startup was the initial work that they put in, but they had a huge return on their initial work that they put in. Okay, they're not sitting there every day putting in work for that. It's just making them money now. They're sitting around doing nothing and it's making them money. It's passive. Okay, speaking of multiple ways to get income, check out my Teespring merch at KingBritneyChanel Couture on teespring.com in this next commercial. Come shop with me now at my Teespring store, KingBritneyChanel Couture. I provide custom apparel and so much more for an affordable price. We have items like leggings, t-shirts, and hoodies. So thank you for shopping, and I hope that you enjoy. So you want to make sure, like I said, you do a routine, okay? If you're a person where you're very disorderly, try to get some organization and order in your life, because that's really going to help you to boss up in everything that you do, okay? You're gonna boss up because you're like, okay, Wednesdays you may do this, okay? You may like, okay, Wednesday I'm gonna go see, you know, if I could network or whatever. Maybe you go to little conferences or seminars, or maybe you take that class that you always wanted to take so that you could get maybe you know, some credentials or something behind your name, whatever it is that you're doing. And I always, you know, a lot of people, you could be successful today without, you know, going to school and stuff like that, but it's nothing wrong with you, if you want to go get education, setting yourself apart from other people, okay? Because you put in the time and the effort into your routine to get education. Like, people are looking at those letters and stuff behind your name like you are qualified to be here. You know, have all, you're leveraging yourself, and you're putting yourself in a position where people are looking at you above other candidates because you put that time into a routine. Like, school is routine. You going every Wednesday, you may have this class. Every Friday, or even if you don't go to school, right? You're like, okay, every Friday I want to spend this hour, you know, maybe sacrifice your time from doing foolishness and doing something constructive. You like, I want to put this time into my business, okay? I want to research on Fridays, or 5 o'clock every Sunday or whatever. Make sure that you have a routine so that it's keeping you in order, is creating those checks and balances so that you're staying on task and on track. So once you start your initial goals and you're self-aware of what you need to work on, create order by organization and routine on how you're going to achieve those goals. You might be like, okay, prime example, I wanted to learn Spanish. So what I started to do was, you know, around my house, I would, you know, practice Spanish, or put a little sticky note on stuff and be like, okay, this day at 3 o'clock, I'm going to do my Spanish lessons, or I'm going to have a conversation with somebody in Spanish. So you just have to be dedicated, and routine helps you to be dedicated to what it is that you're trying to do. Okay, so my next tip is you cannot be afraid of failure. Okay, in order to boss up in life, darling, you have to learn to take risks. You know, everything is not going to happen overnight. I know that we have like this generation of everything is like instant gratification. People want to just be a success overnight, and they're afraid to sometimes to try and to keep going. Like, it may not happen that first time that you do something, but the more and more, like, you get into, you become self-aware, you get into your routine, you start being dedicated and passionate about what it is that you're doing. You know, the failure, you don't have to be afraid of critics. Like, just be happy, like, yo, like, I'm trying to do more than the average person. I'm going to be in a better position than I was yesterday. I don't care about the people that's talking down on me and saying, oh, it ain't gonna work or whatever. The biggest way that you uppercut any hater or people that's just trying to get you to have, you know, fear of success, even if it's yourself trying to hold you back, is dedication, being passionate, and then seeing like all the success from you putting the time, energy, and the work into whatever it is that you want to do. Whether you want to be an entrepreneur, you could want to be, you know, a better person. you'll start to see, because you reap what you sow, right? And you'll start to reap the fruits of your labor, because it's like, okay, you spent time into doing that, you was diligent into doing that, and you'll know that you ain't labor in vain because of it. Like, you cannot be afraid to try, because fear will keep you from trying, and the best innovators had to risk it, okay? They had to just do what they had to do. It's probably a lot of people, because a lot of people are not into change, okay? They like, this work, if it ain't work, you know the people that what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's like, it's always room for progression and room to grow. So those are the type of people that's going to be chitter-chattering like chatty patties and telling you, oh, what you doing is slow, why you doing that? Like, those are the type of people. But you have to ignore those voices from the people that are naysayers, and you have to keep going. You have to, whatever they say, you have to put it out there. No, that's not. I'm going to make a lane. I'm going to, this is a need. Okay, think about supply and demand. This is a need out here, and I don't see nobody out here doing it. I'm gonna be the one to do it, okay? I don't care what they saying. I'm gonna be the one to, you know, press forward, and I'm gonna accomplish this, and it's gonna be done. If people didn't do that, we would not have all of these successful apps and stuff that we have today. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all on this camera if people just took the time to care about what they naysayers are saying. So don't be afraid to take risks. Sometimes you just have to do it. Uncertainty is real in life, and you know, we can't control, you know, everything, okay? But what we do have control over is what we're putting our time in into what we're doing. And you know, if you are dedicated and passionate about what you're doing, you're definitely gonna be seeing a return on your investment. Like, it may not happen the first time. Like, prime example, everybody is not like certain people. Like, some people, I'm gonna use YouTube for example, they could get on YouTube and in the first month they whoosh, they take off. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't go and do you if you want to start a channel. Like, it's some people that they wanted to start their own business, and they tried to put out, you know, several different businesses before. Like, prime example, I have, like, you know, several different businesses now, but one of my first businesses, it was successful, but I didn't like the business model. I didn't like the business model because it was the old school business model where I was selling products, but I had to go out and go to the post office, do all of that stuff. And now we're in a time of you go and put your name on something as an influencer, and that's the way we do it now. You feel what I'm saying? So it's nothing wrong with seeing something or trying different business models. That was like one of the first business models that I tried as a young, like in my late teens, and I was, you know, very successful at it. My mom, you know, always, I have family members that always kind of encourage entrepreneurship. So it's nothing wrong with trying. Like, you know, start if you, whatever way you want to start, just start it. That's how you know how to tweak your business. Like, okay, I don't want to do this business model because I'm spending a lot of money on this, and this. Okay, like, I'm spending a lot of money on different costs where I want to cut costs because I want to make more profits. So you won't know that if you don't ever try. That's how businesses get better over time, because now it's like they know I want to keep my costs low so that I could just have my profits high because my costs are low. So you can't be afraid to try different things, okay? That's how you learn stuff, from trial and error. Like, nobody is doing stuff and it's just, some people, you know, that first try, you know, God bless them, it'll work. But sometimes you have to keep trying different stuff. And it might not necessarily be something that's a failure. You feel what I'm saying? It might just be, I kind of want to cut, like I said, cut my costs. Like, on my first business, I wanted to keep my costs low. I didn't want to keep shelling out a lot of money on unnecessary stuff. So I figured out another way to do my businesses, you know? So another way to boss up in life, I feel like, is to change the environment. And I said this on how, you know, how to become a success, how, you know, secrets of successful people. Definitely check that video up. I will put the icon in this video also, whatever side of the video or whatever. But you have to change your environment. Like, your environment is everything. Like, prime example, I became an entrepreneur because I had a parent that cultivated that environment. Like, it was just like, I don't want you working a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with it, but we want to build generational wealth. So how can we do that? We can't do that, spending all our time doing this. We have to have some passive income and different forms of income. So entrepreneurship was something that was, kind of expressed to me at an early age. Kind of like my parents were like, okay, we want you to do this. And then two, you might have had some entrepreneurs in your family. Like, being from NY, there's people that they go and do their little hot dog stands. They might, whatever it is that you do, like, get your hustle on. You might have an auntie, honey, that sell them cupcakes or them dinner plates or whatever. Get your entrepreneurship on, okay? So, you want to be around people, like I said, that encourage you to do that, because everybody is not going to encourage you to do that. Some people, they are complacent. They're good with their life as it is. And if that's them, that's okay. But you will have those people that will be negative Nancy's, that want to talk against what you're doing. Oh, that ain't going to do this, and you need to do this to do this. And half the time, those be the people or family members or friends, honey, they don't have no business experience. And even if they do, honey, they word is not law. And it's just like, you'll have those people that's negative speaking in your ear. Or let's say you changing your life and you're growing, like I said in the success, how to be successful video. People will be upset with you because you're no longer at that place that they're at anymore. And it's nothing wrong with them being there, because life is a journey, okay? You have to, when I say it's nothing wrong with them being there, it's like, you don't have to look at them like they're away, because they'll come, hopefully they come to, what they need to be doing in time. You feel me? Like, while we got time to do it. Hopefully they come to the revelation that they need to change. But if they're not trying to change with you, you got to sometimes be on your solo tip. You got to be, I'm focused, I'm doing this. And you got to surround yourself with people that have similar goals to, like, as your goals. Like, if you a person that you are entrepreneur, surround yourself with entrepreneurs. If you a person that maybe you want to, like, okay, athletes, for example, you're going to surround yourself with other athletes to train and stuff. You're not going to be around people that's sitting on the couch, not training and just eating a whole bunch of snacks, and you trying to get ready to maybe run a marathon or something. It just, you have to make it, make sense. You have to hang with people that's going in the direction that you're trying to go to. Otherwise, you're going to have contention and friction, because you like, I'm trying to come up here, come on, and they like, no, you changing on us, stay with us, we want to party, we want to chill, we want to do all the little fun stuff we do. So you got to make that choice for yourself. And it's nothing worse than people, having toxic people around, negative people around, people that just ain't trying to do nothing with themselves. They've been doing the same old since you met them, and they're good with that. If they're good with that, you don't got no problem with them. But you gotta, sometimes in order to grow, you got to go. So that's the point on that. So also, if you trying to boss up, money, we gotta talk about, we can't boss up without talking about money. You gotta put your money toward your goals and invest in yourself, okay? Invest in yourself, your business. This doesn't even have to be money. Like, you can invest time into yourself as well. Like, sometimes, like I said, you might have to sacrifice doing what you want for a little while and put, your resources into doing what you need to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, you work hard and then you able to enjoy yourself later. It's the same thing. Like, I always use Noah in the whole ark situation as a prime example. Folks probably laughed at Noah, they teased him, why you building that, ain't gonna be no flood and all this other stuff. And he just diligently listened to the Most High, the Father, Abba Yah, and he just listened, and he was cutting his wood, building his ark, because he had his instructions. And you just, sometimes you have to put your resources and your time into things that you're supposed to be doing. And you might have to put that labor in at first, but eventually you get to chill at a certain point. Okay, so it's like, put your time and your money into, you know, doing something to invest in yourself. Like if you want to be let's say you want to be a pastry chef, put some money to the side. You know, maybe not go on, you know, those shopping sprees, or you know, maybe not go out to eat every Friday with your girls or whatever it is that you want to do, and put your money into what you want it to do. Okay, we spend money a lot of times on stuff where it's just like, we didn't really have to have, like, I didn't really have to go and buy those shoes. I could have spent that and invested that money back into my business. Like, you got to have that type of mindset. Invest your time. That means even taking time from people that's a waste of time, so that you can invest that time into your business as well. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. I also want to tell y'all, like I said, I talked a little bit about the passive income. You don't ever want to just have one form of income, okay? And the whole Rona Gal situation is a prime example of that. You don't want to have the one form of income to where something happens to the one, and then now you in a situation to where you cannot provide your basic needs and stuff like that. So it's good to not, you know, what your grandmama might have said, not to have your eggs all in one basket. You know, have a business, you know, you doing something over here. Like some people, like, they do what it is, you know, stocks. You might sell plates, dinner plates. You might, you know, sell merch or whatever it is that you do. Some people do hair. Like, all of that is income that you could have as like passive income, okay? Like, you know, because it's going to keep you having multiple, I would say multiple, because, you know, hair and stuff, doing hair and stuff, you got to actually do that. But I'm saying passive income is income that you could do. Like, you could do photography, or photography, like I said, can make you money over time. It's a whole bunch of stuff you could be doing so that you could have, I'm going to say, multiple streams of income that you need, and passive income. Multiple streams of income, you could just be doing a whole bunch of stuff like side hustles to have money at just in times like this, you know, where we gotta stay in and stuff like that. The passive income is where, like I said, you do something once initially and you start making money over that. Kind of like how singers do songs and they have royalties, because people who play those songs have to pay them for those songs over time. Even if the song came out in 1970, they still getting paid for that song if a person wants to use that. So think about that in your mind, okay? Think about what could you do for passive income so that you're making money over time. Like, a great way to get passive income is to write books, okay? Because people, you know, you write a book that one time, you could make money off that over and over and over and over and over again, okay? And if people, you know, want to use that book as a source, they might pay you for certain stuff. It's just a lot of ways to make passive income. Speaking of books as passive income, check out my book available on Amazon.com in this next commercial. Like I said, you want to have not just passive but multiple forms of income so that your eggs are not all in one basket. So another way to bosses have to have a mindset, okay? Like, you cannot, the mindset is really the number one thing, because if you have low level thinking, it's gonna be hard for you to boss up, because it's like you're not expanding. It's not dawning to you to do certain stuff. It's hard for you to think. It's like, okay, do you want this or do you want, you know, this? Okay, so it's all about Not, like I said, this has to do, your mindset has to do with, okay, let me not be a complainer. Let me put this time in. Even though I'm sacrificing this time right now, it's a greater goal on the other side, okay? Like, even though, you know, I may have to skip those nights at the club. I might have to skip, you know, just chilling for the sake of chilling right now. You feel me? It's all about your mindset. It's all, you can't, but you have to, in order to improve your mindset, I feel like praying, number one, for wisdom on the way that you should go to the Most High God. Like, you have to pray so that He could guide and order your footsteps. That's number one, because you could be doing like a whole bunch of things and then really be laboring in vain if you don't have, you know, wisdom on what to do and the knowledge on what you need to do to implement certain things. So don't just think I'm saying like, oh, you need to do this, this, and this, and this. Like, it's an order to this. So you want to make sure, like I said, you do that. Like that has to do with mindset. You also want to make sure that you're, like I said, edifying yourself. If it's not benefiting what you're trying to do, then it shouldn't even be in your space. Like, if the like I used in the success video, if world star videos is not edifying you or bringing you to a place to where you're accomplishing your goals, if a person calling your line like, and they calling you and like, girl, let me tell you about Cheryl today, if that's not edifying you, then you might have to, like I said, leave that person alone. Bosses have to have a mindset in order to achieve certain stuff, okay? The low level thinking is not going to get it when it comes to bossing up, okay? Like, you can't, okay, prime example. A boss is not going to be like, oh, let me go and find a high paying job, because they know that job means just over broke. That's the first, like, you got to start formulating your thoughts like that. It's not wrong to have a 9-to-5 or anything like that, but just know that that might not make you rich. You feel what I'm saying? That might not be the way to make you rich or to live the life that you want to live. So it's all about formulating your thoughts into thoughts that you need to boss up, okay? Like, the low level, like, it's not gonna get you there, okay? That's what I mean by that. So I already kind of mentioned to y'all, you want to make sure, like I said, as far as the thing that you cutting extra expenses. Like I mentioned, the first business model I had, don't go spend no unnecessary money on stuff like that you don't need, okay? Thinking that, okay, you could have seen a person that was like a millionaire type of person, and let's say they had like a pen that was $100,000 or something like that. You don't need to go and get that pen that's $100,000, or you don't need to go and live like the people who are like wealthy and rich, and that's not where you at. You feel me? Like, cut the extra expenses. You may not need to take that trip right now to Bora Bora. You may not need that, you know, Chanel bag. You may not need that Furla bag or all of that. Like, you may not need that now. Even though you looking at people and you seeing them live a certain way, if your money and that's not where you at, don't put your time trying to replicate where they at just for the sake of it. You feel me? Or you may not need to, if you're starting your like first business or whatever. Like, prime example, YouTube is a business. Let's say you starting your first channel. You may not need to go out and buy one of them the cameras that fly all around, taking pictures and all the rest of that stuff. Like, you may not need to do that at first. You know, this is where you use what you have, make the best out of the resources that you have, okay, first. And then as you work more and you gain more, invest more into your business, and then do it like that. Like, some people, they be going out trying to, you know, buy high powered cameras and stuff, or, you know, you just might, like, people, I could see them like doing this. And I feel like myself also starting on YouTube, like, I kind of felt overwhelmed because I'm looking at the people like, oh man, they video is like this or whatever. But it's like, you use what you have. Like, if you film with your phone, you feel me? iPhones and stuff like that. There's certain Google phones that they had. The cameras is immaculate. So I'm just using that as an example. Like, don't be looking at people feeling like you gotta live like them and spend all this money to try to be at a level. Like, just do what you gotta do, and then when the money start rolling or whatever success come from that, you know, start investing back into yourself, and then do it like that. Okay, so don't, you know, in order to boss up, don't just think you have to just spend all of this money unnecessarily to do it. Okay, don't do that. So my next tip is, don't compare yourself or be out here trying to compete with other people. This is a real important goal that I feel like you should have if you are trying to get a boss mindset. Okay, your only competition is yourself. Okay, your only competition should be like, okay, I was at this point yesterday, how could I challenge myself to be better? Like, and then also, like, a lot of people, like, and I guess it's just in the world of social media that we live in, they look at other people and they kind of like covet their life or whatever. Like, you know, you got influencers and people that's, you know, on Instagram, and, you know, they see them, like, they dress, you know, in certain clothing and stuff like that, and people just, they kind of be like, oh, I gotta outdo this person, or I gotta kind of, you get what I'm saying? They feel like they gotta look at the other people to try to compete, and it's just like, the only competition is yourself when you have a boss mindset. There's no need to do that. You feel what I'm saying? And then two, the way I was raised, my mom always used to say, like, you never know what it took that person to get to that point. Even the Most High tell you, you don't covet what your neighbor has. Like, you don't never know what it took that person to get to that place. Or, and a lot of people, like, you know, they try to do stuff like, they'll copy everything, like I said, that's trendy. I said this in the beginning. Or they'll try to carbon copy, you know, let's say, as far as like influencers, they'll try to carbon copy, and it's like, carve out your own lane. You know, you never know if the Lord is trying to bless you on this side with your purpose, but you trying to copy that person's purpose over here so you could try to compete and stuff. And it's just like, you don't need to do that. You feel me? Like, it's a lane. Everybody got their own lane. When you are a boss, typically you have tunnel vision and you don't even see any competitors because you focus on your own goals. You working on yourself as a better person. And I'm going to tell you, the Lord will bless you way more focusing on yourself, honey. Like, doing what he instructed you to do, than for you to be trying to compete with the next person. The Most High is not a respecter of persons. So anything that he made available for that person, you're able to accomplish that. But you should never be looking like, oh, I got to outdo this person over here. And I got to, like, just be yourself. Chill. Be yourself. You know, enjoy the process, the life journey of it all. And then two, you really will, I feel like, tear yourself down trying to compete with other people and their success or whatever. Like, that's like a person trying to be a Malcolm overnight. A person that want to be, you know, a motivational speaker, or a person that do that sort of stuff. Those people didn't become great overnight. They put the work and the time in. You feel me? And a lot of people, they try to copy, you know, a person that's successful, or a person, or these trends, thinking that if I do that, I'm a be a success like that person was. And it's just like, no, like, God take you through different journeys and different trials so that it's basically like you purify. So like, by the time you get to that point, or whatever your purpose is, you was meant to be there at the time you was meant to be there. You feel what I'm saying? So don't be looking at other people and being like, oh, I'm not at this place, or feeling like you inferior to that person. Or don't be looking at people like you gotta compete, because it's not necessary. Successful people surround themselves with other successful people, and they know that their only competition is themselves, because you got tunnel vision on accomplishing your own goals. Okay, you will literally, I feel like, drive yourself, honey, in circles doing that. Don't do that. Okay, so basically, this next tip is, bosses, to have a boss mindset, you got to know bosses always move in silence, baby. They move in silence. This is going to be a tip that's really going to help a lot of y'all, honey, that's trying to get that boss mindset. You cannot tell everybody what your plans are, baby. Everybody is not happy for you. Everybody, like I just told y'all, like, people want to compete and compare. You just, there's people that are out here that are destiny thieves, honey. They will steal your intellectual property. Like, they just, if you, especially if you a person that you are creative, and y'all know what I'm talking about, like, you may be an artist, or you may be a person that dance and come up with all these creative dances, whatever it is, you know, you may produce music. You will literally see people, like, you put, if you say something, honey, people will be on that. And if they can't copy it, like, directly, they will try to frustrate you with achieving it. So I learned early, don't ever say nothing about what you working on before it's time. Like, the only time you should be speaking on it is boom, when you about to drop it. Like, that's it. Because literally everybody, baby, is not happy for you. They are not cheering you on. People don't want to see you doing better than the next person. And it's sad that we don't have like a community to where people is happy for one another and that they support, but it is what it is. I don't really do this because I learned spiritually that sometimes the Lord doesn't even want you to talk about certain stuff until it's time, because you will have people in their heart praying against what you're doing, you know. So I'm not a person that, don't be really chatty about things that you're working on. Like, I mean, I feel like not even to really people that you know, because once it's out there, then the enemy can use somebody to try to frustrate and agitate, and basically the enemy doesn't know which way to come if you're not running your mouth to tell which way to go. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know which way. Like, it's, leave him in a confused state, okay? He shouldn't know anything about what the Lord is telling you and how to do it. And it's just, and the sad part is, y'all, like I said, this is the compete and the compare part that I was telling y'all about with the boss mindset. Don't compete and compare yourself. The sad part is, a lot of times, like, I've seen, like, historically, where people will try to take people, you know, just stuff that they have done, like, as far as like artwork and different stuff like that I've seen, like, being an influencer. And it's like, if God be for you, then who could be against you? And, you know, you can't curse what God has blessed. So even if a person do go and try to take the idea that the Most High gave you, just know it's not going, it has to have the anointing behind it. You know what I mean? And like I said, different ideas, like, let's say y'all give you an idea and he give it to you, they're supposed to be released at the time that he has, in order to have that success and that push behind it. So like I said, you could have been called, honey, to be a firefighter, and you over here trying to be la policia, and it's just like you missing your call where you could be excelling in an area, but you trying, it's like you trying to replicate something that another person is doing. That's why I say y'all got to shh about y'all ideas, honey. If you got an idea that ain't never been done before, honey, get that patent for it first, honey. Put your intellectual property in a book, because these people will be out here. If they ain't stealing it, they will be somewhere praying against it. That's just the truth about where that's at, honey. Move in silence. Everybody should not know your business. That's what I learned growing up, honey. Whether you from the hood or wherever you at, honey, you learn that real young, honey. Okay, so my last tip is to show up as who you want to be. Like, if you want to be a boss, show up as a boss, okay? Like, you want, like I said in my girl boss videos, the lookbook videos, if you want somebody to take you serious, right? Let's say you want somebody to take you serious as a businesswoman. Would you show up looking like Diamond from the Players Club, and you want to be taken serious as a businesswoman? You got to know that. Or, like, let's say you want somebody to take you serious as a guy that's a CEO of a company. Are you gonna come looking like you about to do a rap video? Like, you have to show up as the part. If you want to be a boss, you got to do what it takes to be a boss. You got to have the look. I'll never forget, I was watching a documentary on Allen Iverson, and they told him he could not come to the league with all of that stuff, how he was dressing and all of that, because it was a business. He was not realizing that it was a business structure. This is a multi-million-dollar business, and you coming like you hanging out shooting the breeze on your porch. Like, you got to come with it. You got to come. This is why I say branding yourself is very, very important. Speaking of branding, like, I'm going to use this as an example. I always say honey for the tea, right? So this, is an idea that I'm willing to talk about. You get what I'm saying? You can identify what my brand is, like bumblebees and talking about honey for the tea. That's a part of my brand. So you have to do little stuff to brand yourself. Get your mindset going to fit where you trying to go. Like, if you trying to be a boss, dress that part to be a boss. Come with it. You feel what I'm saying? Take the classes or courses that you need to expand in life. You feel what I'm saying? Dress the part. Show up for yourself. Don't be lazy and lackadaisical. Show up for yourself. If you gotta go the extra mile, go that extra mile to push so that those doors and stuff open for you, okay? And looking the part, I just cannot stress that enough. Looking the part has a huge part to play with. If you, okay, prime example, if you showed up to a business meeting in your flip-flops and just looking like you just not even serious, who are you going to get to take you serious? Who are you going to get to invest in you? And these people, are investing their time, their money, and you're not even showing up looking the way that you're supposed to show up. You feel what I'm saying? It's all about looking the part when it comes to being a boss. Even if you ain't at a certain point yet. I'm not saying like go and buy like, designer, different stuff like that. I'm saying just look like you going somewhere. You feel what I'm saying? Look clean. Look like you going somewhere. Brand yourself. You feel what I'm saying? When somebody look at you, like I said, will they invest money into you after looking at you? Okay, prime example. I mentioned the whole diamond from the Players Club. If you going to be, as far as like, if you going to be a girl boss, right? If you want to be taken serious in the boardroom, in the corporate, the business meeting, you got to look the part. If you going to go do Instagram to where you want the men to fly you on out, then you look accordingly over there. So you have to know when to look a certain way and how to be, how to dress accordingly, how to look the part. Because if not, you're going to have people looking like you trying to get some other stuff going that you don't want to get going. Okay? So just keep that in mind when you're trying to brand yourself. Like, as far as YouTube, how are you presenting yourself on the internet? Like, how are you looking? Like, how does it look? Ask people. You can ask different people, like, strangers and different stuff. Like, if you're in college and you do YouTube or something like that, how does this look? Like, if you looked at me, what would the look be? Like, what would you say? What is your opinion of that? You could ask people how it's being presented. And I know, like, a lot of people, if they have subscribers, honey, them subscribers is gonna tell it before you even say something. They're gonna be saying how you look on this internet. So just whatever you do, if you're doing, like I said, photography, have stuff looking professional. Show up on time. Be mannerful. Have etiquette. That's all a part of being a boss and having that boss mindset. I'm drinking a little mint tea today, y'all, because it's a perfect day for this. And we get into our honey for the tea, darling. I feel like if you're new to this channel, honey for the tea represents Yah's truth and his promises. And in the word, it says that Yah's word is like honey. It's sweet. Honey, that green tea is on point. But anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed these tips. If you like these sort of videos, definitely make sure you thumbs up the video, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell, and tell me in the comment section, what was your favorite bossing up in life tip? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you on the next video. It's KingBritneyChanel. You already know. See y'all soon. Hey honeys, thank you for watching my video, and if you haven't, definitely make sure you check out my Teespring, KingBritneyChanel Couture, where you can find my latest merch. I upload a lot of new designs frequently, so definitely make sure you check it out. We have mugs, we have wall tapestries, canvas art, pillows, fleece blankets, apparel, and so much more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all on my next video.